Summer is here, and that means fresh, flavorful berries are available for yummy desserts and sweet snacks. Chef Ellie Rosen has teamed up with Driscoll's Berries to share cool ways to incorporate berries into sweet summer recipes. Hello, Chef.
Hi, Desiree. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on, and your display looks delicious. And I wanted to ask, why choose berries this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, it is wonderful that Driscoll's gives us berries year round, right? Like we sometimes, like in the dead of winter, need those berries for our sanity, but berries really scream summer, right? Like when you're thinking of strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries, what you want is that fresh summertime flavor. And so it's just so exciting to be partnering with Driscoll's here because I love any dessert that incorporates berries into it for the summer.
Yeah, so what are some recipes that take advantage of this sweet summer berry season?
Well, I think one of the simplest and sort of the classic is strawberry shortcake, right? But I think the things that sometimes people mess up on is not realizing that, like, because it's such a simple dessert, you do need to have those excellent ingredients. So I love to make my own whipped cream. I think, you know, people think it's hard, but all you have to do is take heavy whipping cream. You don't need to add sugar or anything else, and just whip it up to get that whipped cream. And then you're topping it with the sweet strawberries. Because Driscoll strawberries are so sweet and consistent, like, you know that you're gonna have all of that sweetness from it. So I love a strawberry shortcake. If you wanna do something a little bit more complex, I love these cheesecake bars. They have a beautiful graham cracker crust, which like everybody can get behind. And then the cheesecake base of this is wonderful, and you just sort of cut through them. I love like taking a knife, dipping it in hot water to make sure that like you don't get that stickiness on there, and creating these bars, topping them with beautiful berries. Like there's nothing like the creaminess of cheesecake with a berry on top. So I love the simplicity of both of these desserts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you had me with the cheesecake and the fresh berries on top. That sounds delicious right now. Right. Do you have any other berry good recipes for us?
Yes, I love your pun. I also am a huge fan of chocolate covered strawberries, which I think are like the ultimate crowd pleaser, but a lot of people assume that they can't make them themselves when they actually could not be easier. So if you take some semi-sweet chocolate chips and just put them in the microwave, and every 30 seconds, like, give them a stir. If they don't have the consistency that you want, you can always put a little bit of coconut oil in them to, like, you know, loosen it up a little bit, and it won't add a coconut flavor. You dip your strawberries in again, like you want those big Driscoll's berries, so you really have that size advantage. And then you want to just like give them some toppings, like sprinkles, or if you want to go a little healthier, some sliced almonds or a little bit of coconut flakes. Throw them in the fridge, and then when you have people over and you bring out a tray of chocolate covered strawberries, like, you will be everyone's favorite host.
Oh yes, well, I want to be the favorite host, so I'm going to have to really take these tips to heart, Chef. Any other final tips to give us?
Exactly. Yes, I mean, I think that for a lot of people, when they buy berries, they get frustrated if they go bad quickly. And I mean, the first, obviously, like, I love Driscoll's berries, so the first is to like buy the right berries. But the second is, I think a lot of people err in sort of putting their berries into the fridge when they've been washed, because that's something that can really make your berries go bad. Another thing that I think is to like look for special flavors of berries. That's a huge conversation starter and something that's exciting at home. So I love that, like, in all of Driscoll's research and development, they've started to come up with new flavors of berries. So I love this tropical bliss flavor that they have. And they also came up with this rosé berry. So, you know, look for different kinds of berries in the way that we're sort of used to having like apples of many different flavors. We can also think of that with strawberries. Like, there can be different varieties, so definitely look out for that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that rosé berry, maybe put it in a little mimosa. Thank you so much, Chef Ellie Rosen, for joining us this morning. To find the sweetest berries to add to your summer treats, visit Driscolls.com.